What's good, guys? Welcome to the video. So this is going to be 5 fragrant things that I would like to improve on or that I would like to do this year. Maybe you can call them a New Year's resolution, but it's a bit late and it's a bit of a tacky term as well. These are 5 things that I want to do, I want to change in 2019. So number 1 is I want to add a few more bottles to my collection. You know, a lot of you guys have commented that I've got the same old thing in every list, in every review, whatever. And you're right, I don't disagree. So not even for that reason, but I noticed this myself. I noticed that there's a small number of fragrances in my collection that I wear all the time, and a bunch that are like super specific occasions or I don't wear at all. I'd like to finish getting rid of all those. There's still a couple that I don't really want in my collection. And there are some confirmed that I want to add. For example, Green Irish Tweed, I've just got a little decant of it for now, and I probably have about 2 wearings of it left in here before I'm gonna have to start searching hardcore for a bottle, but I really want this scent, and there's a couple others that I really want to add. It'll not only help me spice up my content a little bit, but I think it'll be good for my collection, good for my scent wardrobe to add some new bottles as well. Not a lot though. If I had to guess, I would say probably 5, give or take 1 or 2. So that was number 1. So number 2 is I want to keep overspraying my fresh fragrances. Here's Postal. Postal never got me a whole ton of compliments until I started overspraying it this past year. Even in the summer, I would wear minimum 6 sprays to everywhere except work. I think you do have to take it a little more careful at work, but everywhere else, I spray the shit out of myself and I get a ton of compliments. And it's not just Postal. I've noticed this with Le Malo Fresh, with Nautica Voyage, to a lesser degree, Parfums de Marly Layton, because it seems like you can wear 1 or 5 sprays of that and still get compliments. But Postal, it was my most complimented of this past year, and that's because I wore so much of it. And I just figured this out about halfway through 2019, that you don't have to be super careful on the trigger in most scenarios. Most times we're going to be out in an open space or with a lot of people, and it's just not going to be an issue where you can choke someone out. There are definitely certain niche scenarios, like let's say a date, an intimate situation where you don't want to spray a lot, but for the most part, going about my day, I'm going to keep overspraying. That's number 2. Number 3 is I would like to find a summer signature scent. I hadn't had one of these for about 2 years now. I used to use Creed Millésime Imperial, but for whatever reason I just didn't love that, and I actually sold that about half a year ago, and I really missed having a go-to fragrance in the summertime. I used Postal, but it just doesn't feel right all of the time. I didn't feel like it was the perfect choice, and I really am on the hunt this year for a good, fresh, signature summer scent. Preferably not something super expensive either, because there are a couple fresh fragrances that smell really, really good, but they cost way too much. Serjoff Neo or Love Paris Sea of Light. Those 2 are amazing, but they're really, really expensive, and for something for the summer where you're gonna spray it a few times per day, you know, you're gonna reapply a few times per day, I don't feel right paying the upper end niche price tag, even if it smells fantastic. It just seems like a really, really poor investment, even as far as fragrances are concerned. So that's number 3. Number 4. This is the most heartwarming of my picks here today, but I want to spend more time watching and supporting smaller reviewers. And I don't necessarily mean smaller than me, but I mean people that are clearly not trying to make a business of it. And it's not that I don't respect those guys. I think if you want knowledge about the best new fragrances to come out, then that's a great thing to do. It's a great resource for you. But I find that I don't trust all of them completely. However, a small reviewer, not only is it, you know, the future wave of people that are going to be talking about smelling good, not only is it that, but it's also someone trying to get their channel going, and I would, you know, I'd like to support them. A few fragrance guys did that for me when I was coming up, and I think it'd be really nice to give back, and I see some new guys coming out that are making really solid content. It's just nice to support these guys. And if you're looking for a completely uninfluenced, genuine take on a fragrance, I would recommend a smaller YouTuber or one who is clearly not, being sponsored or getting money for it. There are guys with way more subscribers than me who I have complete faith in because they've shown time and time again that they have integrity, and they're not gonna say something's good just because they got it for free or just because they want to sell you and it's new. So it doesn't necessarily matter the size, but I want to support people that are just doing it of their own free will, and maybe they're getting paid a little bit of money. I get paid a little bit of money, but it ain't much. And nobody pays me for these opinions, and I like to support people who don't get paid for theirs. So that's number 4. Number 5, back to my usual. This is the last tip, the last resolution, if you will, and I want to make 0 bad buying decisions. I know this is a tough one for those of us in a fragrance community because there's hype and there's pretty bottles and there's good openings with shit dry downs, and there are fragrances that smell great but don't perform. It's hard not to make a bad buy, and I think it comes down to adequate testing and maybe not looking at the bottles so much. So I did okay in 2018, but I still made some regrettable purchases. One of them I'm holding right here, and it pains me to say it because this bottle is so pretty. It's Rouge de Parfums Elysium. So I've let on in the past that this might have been a bad decision, and it was. If I'm being totally honest with you guys, it was not the best decision for me to buy this fragrance. I smelled this for the first time when I was in Ireland 2 years ago, just traveling. I smelled it in a fancy store there, and I sprayed it on, and it was like, whoa, this opening, man, smells so good. It's juicy, and There's a problem. There's 2 problems, actually. The first problem is that the sharpness from that opening never goes away. And I don't like that. Where Creed Aventus starts out sharp and then it gets a little more mellow, it gets a little more soft. This never does. It stays sharp the whole way through. And the bigger of the 2 problems is that it doesn't project at all. And you know me, I don't really care about getting compliments from people. It doesn't matter that much to me. But I can't smell this after 2 hours. It's a joke. I put this on, let's say I put it on my chest, and I have to dig my nose into my shirt before I can get it. Even if it's on my clothes, it's hard to smell. Not only that, but I find that this is not the compliment getter that a lot of people say it is. It placed in at number 8 on my list, but it was nothing special. And I can recall one particular scenario where I was in the car with one of my aunts, and I had Elysium just on my hand because it was when I was testing it. I'm gonna put the bottle down, and I said, "Hey, smell this. What do you think of this?" And she gets here. She says, "Smell what?" And I said, "No, it's right here." And she goes closer. Nothing. And I said, no, it's right here in this tiny little dot on my hand. She sticks her nose right on my hand and says, yeah, that smells good, but I have to get right up next to you for me to smell anything. That's the problem. That's the problem. And even though it's got a really gorgeous opening, it does last a very long time, the bottle is beyond sick. It's just not a great option for me. I didn't reach for it as much as I thought I would last year. I tried it in the summer, I tried it in the spring, I tried it in the fall. Just a no-go, man. It just didn't fit anywhere. And I'm not saying that it's a bad fragrance. I know I shit talk Rouge de Dove all the time. It's not a bad fragrance, but on my skin, it does not work. Of the 5 bottles I bought in 2018, I regret 3 of them. So that's not great, and I would like to make a change. That being said, I like 4 of the 5 decants I bought, so that's not bad. But in 2019, there are 2 things. I'm not gonna watch a fragrance review. I'm never going to watch a fragrance review when I'm deciding to buy a new scent because it just interferes so much with your judgment, and it's other people's experience and it's not your own. So you're buying based on someone else's experience, which sometimes can work out and sometimes cannot. Now, I'm not gonna watch any fragrance reviews for stuff that I wanna buy. And I'm gonna spend a little bit more time testing and trust my gut, man. I think that's a good recipe for buying fragrances that you like. So guys, those are the 5 resolutions, or the five things I wanna change with my fragrance habit this year. I want to add some flippin' bottles to my collection. You guys been saying it, I'm saying it now. I wanna add. I really do want to add. For the first time in about a year, I want to add. Number 2, I'm going to overspray. I'm going to keep overspraying my fresh fragrances because you can. Number 3, I need this year, because it was a real pain in the ass last year, a summer signature scent. I want to support the little man, and not even just the little man, but the guys that are doing this solely for the sake of doing it, not just for the sake of, you know, an ego boost or making sales. I want to support people, I want to support reviewers that are real, basically. And number 5, of course, is to make 0 bad buys. We'll see how that goes, but those are my 5 resolutions for 2019, guys. Comment down below. What do you think of mine? What are some of yours? If you enjoyed, please subscribe down below as well. Hit the like and the bell to get notified when I come out with new content. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you in the next one. Have a great day.